just Windows after all. I mean, I wanted to describe today about Onsen 2, which we have been working on for maybe like more than 3 years now. I'm TANAKA, founder of Monaca, which I also started this project like back in like 2011 or 2000. So it's also been like here for 5 years. I previously had come here talking about Monaca like 3 years before in Amsterdam, I remember. It was my first conference that I had a speech in English. And I'm kind of like traveling back and forth between Tokyo and rest of the countries, including United States and Europe. So I'm get used to it a little bit, but still very difficult for me to describe. So please let me know if there's something weird I'm talking about. So about me, I'm running an HTML5 company called Monaca. Actually, Monaca is not a company name; it's a product name. Our company name is Asia Corporation, but it makes very very like complicated. So I don't want to say my company. I started this 13 years ago when I was a university student, and I'm just running this with a member of 50 people right now. We're long doing Cordova and PhoneGap at that moment, including translation of all the PhoneGap documentation into Japanese and running many Tokyo Cordova meetups. Still, it is one of the most popular meetups in Tokyo. All the time, it's like more than 100 people is coming in. Ryan and many other guys from the United States also have the opportunity to talk in our meetup group, which is awesome. We also, maybe you haven't aware of this, we're the creator of Cordova bot, which I think none of you guys know about this because this bot exists in our office, which is created by Lego with our engineer writing HTML5 application on top of it. It's actually a Lego-driven robot which also embeds some sort of like hardware sensor, which also describes the room temperature or like earthquake, accelerometer. But also it also pings us if there's any newer version of Cordova framework is upcoming and deployed to the GitHub or whatever. So it's a very useful robot that we are creating this. And also what we have is I previously in PhoneGap Day EU in United States, I demonstrated some game called Cordova's Final Quest, and maybe some of you guys aren't aware of it. And I'm not this moment. I don't want to talk into this so long, but just quickly glance what this application looks like. So this is the application that has like a RPG game. And it's embedded in it's actually around mobile applications. So if you're curious what this game is and how you can play with this, you can just use it. It's in our repo, so you can just try it out. It's a very awesome game. It's a Cordova robot, trying to fight with all the competitors like native iOS or whatever, and trying to become the rule the hybrid application market. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, you can just try and just have fun. Yeah. Anyways, so it's not the topic today. So today I want to describe a little bit about today. Actually, honestly, it's more like a sales talk because we're a sponsor, and I want to make Onsen UI known to everybody else over here. I want everybody to raise if you guys know about Onsen UI. So we have two lineups. One is Monaca, and one other is Onsen UI. Monaca is a product development suite for developing Cordova applications. It supports like remote building and debugging and testing and push notification and all others. And also we have Onsen UI, which is a framework, which is an open source project, and it's designed for iOS and Android. Why we name it Onsen UI is because onsen is a Japanese word of hot springs, which can be referred as spa, and it is a single-page application, so that's why we named it Onsen. This is our first disclosure of why we named it Onsen UI, actually. But so that's how we name Onsen UI. So it's very interesting because I know so many like US or European people naming something like a Japanese, taken from Japanese letters. So that's why many people in Japan even didn't know that Onsen UI is actually a pure Japanese, made framework. They thought that's also like some of the yet another Japanese name framework, but actually it isn't. And today I wanted to introduce Onsen UI version 2, which we have recently stated as RC version. So it's almost there. I wanted to describe what we have been doing for this project. So it's actually a collection of user interfaces. We have bunch of components and interfaces available in both material and flat design. And it also includes something like dialogues or like switches or pop-ups, popovers, crawls. Well, they're like so all the components are available over here, with also for the material design. So that's a thing. Some other benefit we have is that Onsen UI is a framework agnostic, which means we have Onsen UI core, which is implemented in JavaScript, and we are using that core to provide bindings or extensions to web components, React, Angular 1, and Angular 2 altogether. So, as a web developer, we need to stick to the latest trend, and now the latest trend is coming into Angular 2 or React, but we need to catch up. But the user interface itself doesn't actually relate to those evolution of the web technologies. I mean, it's the evolution of the native technologies. So that's why we try to separate the trend, the JavaScript trend and also the user interface trend to make it the latest UI experience to the latest web frameworks out there. So for instance, this is the example of the web components API. All the tags are represented using ons dash naming scheme, and you can see this is a very basic tab bar, but you can see the source code and understand how it runs. So we have the templating support, and we have all the key ingredients for creating the user interface. And this is the web components API. We also have an Angular version of this, of course, which is very similar to the web components version, but it's implemented for Angular 1. It's implemented in directives, and for Angular 2, it's implemented. It is actually implementing in components. It's totally the same as the web component version in terms of the APIs and the properties, but you can, of course, use the AngularJS bindings or the lots of fancy features that Angular 1 or 2 will support. And actually, Angular 2 support is now still in beta. We are going to provide it in public release candidate maybe in upcoming weeks. But yeah, it looks like Angular 2 is also having up to the RC version, so Onsen 2, we want to also release Angular 2 version of Onsen UI in a timely manner. So that's the Angular API. We also have React API, and maybe some of you guys already have used React before. React is totally different on the way of handling components. So for React, it's not an actual DOM, it's a virtual DOM, and all the components are represented in JSX. So what we do is we also provide JSX version of Onsen UI React components. So now all the Onsen components are starting with ons.toolbar, which is a React component, and you can just expect all the props or methods or whatever you want to integrate your application into Onsen UI. So Onsen UI is it's more like a framework agnostic and is compatible with all those frameworks. And actually, there is one official application upcoming. They actually recently created onsen, using Onsen UI and released 2 weeks ago. It's a Giro d'Italia offshore application. I think this is very interesting because this is a European big event in Europe, and I wanted to, describe that, this is, they actually picked Onsen UI for creating this awesome application. Looks like they said that it's ranked in #1 in App Store Italy downloads in 2 weeks ago, and I think this is something, very awesome job for them. So anyways, so that's the Onsen UI. Actually, before talking about to get started, I want to know. I wanted to say why we actually wanted to do something like this for Onsen UI. So as I said, framework agnostic is very important, but it's not only because we need to catch up with the latest trend, but also the tooling side should be also agnostic to the frameworks. We have many tools available for Cordova, but all the time we need to understand what kind of framework or what kind of development experience we want to establish based on that CLI. I think many developers want to have fine-grained control over the configurations, but I also feel many people actually want to have off-the-shelf installation with a very easy setup process to start the mobile application development as quick as possible. That's why that comes to Onsen. That is not actually an Onsen UI part, but it's a Monaca part, and that's what we are doing as a Monaca. So Monaca is a toolset for creating Onsen UI applications. Or actually, for Monaca, you can just create any Cordova applications, but we more have an tighter integration with Onsen UI. So you just install using NPM, and you can create a project just like other Cordova create commands. But the interesting thing over here is that we also ask the user like what kind of framework you want to use, or and if they pick up like React, then we also include all the necessary dependencies required to build React applications like Webpack or the Babel or the transpiler support in the CLI tool. And that enables Monaca command to do the preview over the browser, or you can run Monaca debug to run using the Wi-Fi connection and run on your real device using what we call Monaca Debugger, which is a free application that you can download from App Store. So you actually don't have to install any of the local SDKs. You just install Monaca, and you can just preview or run on your device. So even the Windows user can have a benefit of this. And if you want to do a remote build, you just type in Monaca remote build, and we will give you the way to the cloud build service for iOS, Android, and Windows. So literally, there's no setup cost for that. And we even have a distribution cloud. So something like if you want to deploy to App Store, we also have a feature for that. So that's why you don't need to have a Mac anymore, but you can just use our GUI to deploy to the App Store, or maybe if you want to distribute to like Hotkey app or any other distribution cloud, we have the API for that. So the concept for Monaca is how to develop an application more easier by using the cloud technologies that we own. So that's how we are doing. Anyways, I'm not going to talk so much because there are like many components we have in Onsen UI, or many commands or many features that we have in Monaca. So if you wanted to quickly try out, of course, we have a website, but we also have an interactive tutorial. So my last talk is something related to this, but it looks like my internet connection is dead now. That's too bad. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. sorry. Yeah, it's actually running on GitHub pages, and they don't have the SSL support for the custom domain. Here it is. So this is an interactive tutorial. We have a bunch of tutorials available for you for JavaScript, Angular 1, Angular 2, and React. So if you want to, quickly try out, you can just read the tutorial, follow this, and you can even try it out, changing the changing here and run it. And you can also switch the Android, how it looks like in Android and iOS. So you can just play. It is a playground with a tutorial feature. So if you're if you're interested in just try out Onsen UI, I very like you guys to actually come into this interactive tutorial and just play your own. And we're very happy for getting a feedback. So we're continuously improving our framework and our toolset. But I think there are lots of use cases that we are missing or we need to know from your experience. So I'm very happy to discuss, to talk with you and understand more about your possibilities. That's it from my side. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and hope you have a good PhoneGap day the rest of the day. Thanks.